of the Cayman Islands.
For the record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury, and JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is For the Record.
For the Record. 1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Monday, the 23rd day of September 2024, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable weekend. Those of you who are on our wet and rainy roads, we urge you to please exercise caution, observe the rules of the road, in particular, using common sense. Even though some people say common sense is not so common these days, please exercise, whatever common sense that you have when it comes, to driving, using your discretion as well. And obviously, you have to adjust your driving to suit the conditions under which you're driving. If you're driving in the dark and your visibility is affected, then you have to drive slower. If the roads are wet, you have to drive slower. You don't know whether or not the puddles are deep or whether they're shallow. Stopping ability is hampered as well. So you don't want to tailgate like you usually do, even though you shouldn't be doing that either. But, keep your distance as well. Please remember that the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who's celebrating a birthday today, or if you celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday. And the birthday greetings, shout-outs will come later on, just to remind you that when they do come, they are sponsored by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shout-outs. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Like I said, we will talk about the birthday shout-outs later on as well. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery as well. So, folks, want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes. And this morning, this very special edition of For the Record as well, talking about the weather. And you have had some advance notice since last week, talking about the weather that was expected as well. So this is a special edition of For the Record. Want to remind you that after we give you all of the details. The phone lines will be open as well. Our toll-free number 1-800-534-8255. Also 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp number 925-3261. And of course, none other than that beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson will be in the control room waiting to take your calls as well. But for this segment, we want to restrict your calls talking about the weather, and if you have any questions in terms of what actions you should be taken, then certainly we do have persons in the studio to field those questions as well. And they are in the persons of Miss Danielle Cole, who is the Director of Hazard Management, Cayman, and Mr. John Tibbetts, who is the Director General of the National Weather Service. No stranger to Radio Cayman, neither of them. No stranger to the For the Record as well. We're on last week also. So we will be talking about, there will be a recap on what has taken place in the last 72 hours leading up to this morning. We'll be talking about the fact that government schools, including University College of the Cayman Islands, are closed, that private schools are also closed today, and you would have heard the messages coming to you live on Radio Cayman, the announcements about school closings as well, also about Cayman Airways and the fact that Cayman Airways flights are operating as scheduled and that they are continue to monitor the weather conditions as well. So with that introduction, we're going to take a commercial break at this point in time. And then when we return, Mr. John Tibbetts, the Director General of the National Weather Service, will give us the latest weather report, and he will also talk about king tides. He will talk about the area most prone to flooding, and Ms. Danny can, come in on that as well, because, they have the flood mapping and all of that has been done. We'll be talking about similarities to this event and what was experienced on the 10th of June, 2024, and Edda. Also, the reasons for why there should be an abundance of caution as well. And then later on, when I get the microphone after a guest has left, then I probably share some tidbits with you. For instance, 1967, the 21st of September 1967, Hurricane Beulah had passed the Cayman Islands as well. So John can talk a little bit about when we talk about the fact that we are in the busy hurricane season, that is no an expression that has just been developed. The data and the facts prove that, as well. And I'm sure that the history of hurricane goes back a long, long way in terms of recorded hurricanes as well. So, folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we return, we're going to hear from the Director General of the National Weather Service, Mr. John Tibbetts.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Following the end of slavery, the relationships between the former masters and ex-apprentices varied across the island. Relations were peaceful in West Bay, where the former masters entered into bargains for work and property rentals with their former slaves. However, the same was not the case for Bodden Town, which historically housed the largest concentration of slaves. The former masters wanted to hire as much labor for the lowest wages in return for the former slaves' continued usage of the homes, whereas the former slaves wanted to keep their houses without obligation to work when they wished for the highest wages. The former slaves would eventually move to East End, clearing the unoccupied land for themselves.
Radio Cayman's historical vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers, a compounding story.
I don't think people realize how pain creeps into your life. It has a way of robbing your strength. I really don't like taking prescription medication orally.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. They understand.
When it comes to compounded medication, it's personal. So whenever there's a problem with some medication or treatments that's not working right, then a physician will call me and say, hey, they're having bad side effects from this medication.
Compounding pain cream changed the game. Made special for me. Significant pain relief in the form of a cream. That is a new experience for me.
It's changed his life.
It worked.
Ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about compounding at West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Call 914-6449.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
The sale you've been waiting for is here. Brand Source Home Gallery's custom closet and kitchen cabinet sale is now through September 30th. Save 20% on closets, pantries, Murphy beds, wall units, media centers, and that long overdue kitchen cabinet makeover. Our designers will create your dream closet or kitchen. Choose from our in-stock selection or special order and have installed before December. Shop now and save 20% with Brand Source Home Gallery's custom closet and kitchen cabinet sale. Hurry, sale ends September 30th. Visit us at 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, or call 623-5000.
Tortuga's annual Drinks Festival is back from the 9th to the 13th of October for an incredible week of events, including its signature evening experience at the Westin on Saturday the 12th of October. Tickets are on sale now at tortuga.ky.
This is For the Record.
Whatever. Good morning. Sorry, I think that might have been a live mic. Welcome back to For the Record. Like I said earlier, my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning Miss Danielle Coleman, who is the director of the of the Hazard Management Cayman Islands, and Mr. John Tibbetts, who's the director of the National Weather Service. Folks, good morning. Welcome back to For the Record.
Good morning, AC, and good morning to all the listeners. And to you, John, of course.
Good morning all. Fortunately, sometimes when I get on the radio, I have to be bringing, I don't know if you want to call it bad news. when I bring you news, if I give you updated information and what have you, I understand it's adverse weather conditions, but to call it bad news might not necessarily be the right word. So for the last few days, we've been actually tracking a broad area of low pressure that's built across the Northwest Caribbean. It has got a slow west, northwest type motion to it.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Is that?
No, nothing to do with me.
Trying to figure out where it's coming from, Susan. Go ahead, John. Talk. Can you
I didn't know if that was going live on.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this broad area of low pressure is drifting towards coming up to the west of the Cayman area, and it is getting better organized with time. The National Hurricane Center has given it a disturbance number of 97, so they are actually looking at it, and they're monitoring it, and they're expecting Hurricane Hunter to go into the area this afternoon. At that time, we will get some more advanced information on the system. For right now, it is important that we pay close attention to what's going to happen here, as there's some very dangerous conditions are going to prevail. We have the National Weather Service has flood warnings out valid all the way through Thursday. So this is not a today event, it's a today through Thursday event. A lot of rainfall. The predictions for the entire time period is in the order of about 18, 19 inches of rainfall over 4 days. So for today, they're saying 2.4 to 3.2 inches. Same thing for tomorrow. And then Wednesday, 1.4 to 1.8 inches. And then on Thursdays when it starts to drop out a bit. Additionally, the sister islands will also be impacted. Today, 2.2 to 3 inches. Tomorrow, 1.4 to 2 inches. And then on Wednesday, 1 to 1.4 inches. Additional to the rainfall and all the flooding, and please understand something. The flooding will come in two different separate components, because we've got freshwater flooding coming from all the rainfall, but we're also experiencing some elevated tides right now. You might know them as king tides, and that will bring in some seawater intrusion into the low-lying areas near the coast in particular. Additionally, we're expecting the wind speeds to pick up from this afternoon, east-southeast 20 to 25 knots this afternoon, and then rising up to about 25 to 30 knots tomorrow and on Wednesday, before starting to drop back down on Thursday. That means we'll have a small craft warning out. We have a small craft warning out for today, marine warnings out for Tuesday and Wednesday, and then on Thursday a small craft warning again. This is a system that is getting itself better organized, and there are going to be very many models that are available to the public that they're going to look at, and they're going to say one thing or the other. All right, this system, if it continues to develop, then we will see something from it. The question is where and when. All right, please pay attention to your local sources, and be very careful about what you're looking at with regards to the weather models and the input that you're getting from outside of these sources.
Okay, with that, Danny, based on what Mrs. Tibbetts has said there, and if you want to go off script so that people will understand exactly what one of the questions that I had would be, based on what Mr. Tibbetts has said and based on the preparations that we made as a result of the last system, what advice would you give to people in terms of what they have done so far, in terms of possibly boarding up their residences or their businesses, sandbagging and things of that nature?
Thank you, OC. Yes, and again, just to go back to what's sort of been happening over the weekend, given that this is such a dynamic storm and the activity is sort of so unpredictable and it's very, very close to us, obviously, we have to sort of err on the side of caution and make sure that we do get the Cayman Islands prepared and ready to go no matter what the situation arises over the next few days. We know we're going to get some substantial flooding, a lot of rainfall, a lot of wind. So either way, we like to make sure that we're fully prepared and we can always scale back. So just some of the things that have been happening this weekend. Obviously, we've been working very closely with NRA to get emergency pumps ready, to get the sand for the sandbagging stations, also to get the drains cleared. Sandbag stations are a great example of, again, trying to be proactive, making sure that everyone is ready. We do have 4 locations in Grand Cayman and 2 locations in the sister islands. But, the point is that not to get sand from the beach. We're really, really strongly encouraging people not to get sand from the beach. That's the whole point of setting up these sand stations. It's quarry sand, so we're not affecting our environment.
Yeah.
Our natural barrier. So, of course, these stations are a West Bay Fire Station, Linford Pearson, Agricultural Pavilion, Frank Sound Fire Station, and in Cayman brackets, Cotton Tree Bay and Watering Place. So you can take your own sandbags at any time and get fill up the sand yourself. But we do have obviously a schedule for if you do need extra assistance, you can go down there at certain hours. And the Grand Cayman sites, it's 10 till 12, 2 till 4, and 6 till 8. In Cayman Brac, I believe it's 8 till 4 is the last update I got. So that's the sort of sandbags. Really encouraging to make sure that if you are living in a flood-prone area, that you get your precautions ready, such as sandbags. Maybe don't park your car in the lowest elevation part of your property. But just to give you a bit of feedback as to what the Cayman Islands government's been doing, working very closely as part of a united force. Again, sandbag distribution plans over the weekend include a number of different stakeholders, and we've had the Red Cross out there helping, the regiment have been there with us, the National Roads Authority, PWD. It's been a really good community effort trying to get the sandbags, and of course the retail supplier, because trying to get sandbags organised for sending to the BRAC yesterday, as well as for 6,000 we picked up this morning earlier on, does take a bit of logistics. We're also working with our partners at the DEH, obviously, for garbage collection. We don't make sure there's a lot to do in the next couple of days, and they do have the priority sites where special collections will be made, and that's very much based on the science. So we do flood mapping at Hazard Management, and again, those special collections will take place in the likes of Randyke, Washington Boulevard, Windsor Park, and the really obvious places for flooding. They will have special collections. But as just a shout out to the public, please secure your garbage in case nothing happens over the next few days as far as pickup goes. Please make sure you're securing your garbage, but also secure anything on the outside. We're fairly unpredictable weather right now as far as winds go. I think we were looking at 30 to 40 potentially, but again, this could change. It's very dynamic. We have the Hurricane Hunter going through at 1 o'clock today, so we should be getting more data then as to what the extent of this looks like. But I think just strongly encouraging the public to prepare for the worst and just scale back. You don't want to be putting up sandbags, or if you have a leaking roof, you don't want to be putting a tarpaulin on your roof in the midst of a storm. You'd want to be doing it now. And if you need help, obviously call upon your neighbours, call upon your friends to help you out. In regards to planning meetings, again, lots going on behind the scenes today. We have the executive. We met, that's the cabinet, as well as leader of the opposition, and that's co-chaired between the Premier and Governor. We had a briefing on Saturday for that, so we were talking about what the weather was like and what the plan was for the weekend. We'll have another briefing today. We'll also be briefing the council today, which is a wider picture. It includes education, includes voluntary agencies, health sector, and so forth. And depending on what the sort of feedback we get from the Hurricane Hunter, will really determine what kind of response we do. So we'll obviously have the National Emergency Operations Centre tactical leaders on standby, but we don't activate until the risk warrants it. So they'll be readying themselves today. We'll be meeting with them later on today, just to make sure that if by chance we need to activate them, we can. Obviously, we've been working with Red Cross over the weekend as well, so their Red Cross shelter will be ready if the situation warrants it. And again, if we have to extend further, we can very, very quickly with other shelters around the island.
Excellent. Folks, and I would imagine there's going to be a lot, because if this is going to extend all the way until Thursday. For instance, education. If schools are going to be closed, then parents need to know, because they're going to have to make additional plans if they have to go to work, or employers may want to take a different approach in terms of looking at working from home or whatever, because this has just come upon us now at the very start of the the new school year as well. So, folks, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. When we return, the conversation with Ms. Danny Coleman and Mr. John Tibbetts will continue. Don't change that dial. We're talking about the weather. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time by Foster's is a minute after 8.
West Bay, are you ready?
The new look Foster's Republics is now open.
With a spacious new deli, a cheese lover's fromagerie, a hot new bakery, a coffee and juice bar, and the ultimate made-to-order breakfast, burgers, pizzas, sandwiches, and Asian stations.
Our fresh produce and meat selections have grown and are serving only the best.
And you're going to want to stop and smell the roses in our gorgeous new floral department, where something blooms every day. Discover the new Foster's Republics in West Bay. Bigger and better because we care.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Island.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller.
If you do not have to be on the roads, please stay home and let us stay home to be safe.
School closures and remote work dominate today in the face of potential extreme weather. The National Weather Service says you can expect cloudiness and showers with a developing broad area of low pressure over the Northwest Caribbean expected to continue to spread across the country for the next few days. Further deterioration in weather conditions are expected throughout the day as the area of low pressure is expected to move further north, supporting heavy widespread thunderstorms and flooding expected in low-lying areas. An increase in winds is also expected from this afternoon, with strong to near gale winds and periods of gale force winds possible overnight as the system moves near the Cayman area. Higher than normal tides may amplify flooding of low-lying areas. Radar images show brisk, widely scattered showers over the area with widespread thunderstorms to the south, drifting towards the west-northwest. The National Weather Service continues to maintain a flood warning valid through Thursday. The National Hurricane Center in Miami has now marked a broad area of low pressure over the Northwest Caribbean with a 90% chance of cyclone formation over the next 7 days, with a 70% chance over the next 48 hours. Our extended outlook is calling for continued strong to near gale force winds through Thursday morning, with a gradual decrease in cloudiness and showers from Wednesday evening as the low pressure system moves north into the Yucatan Peninsula. As mentioned earlier, students are staying home today. Director of the Department of Education Services, Mark Ray, has advised that all government schools, including the University College of the Cayman Islands, are closed due to adverse weather conditions predicted to affect Cayman.
The Ministry of Education and Department of Education Services are actively monitoring the situation and will issue updates through our social media platforms.
He says the move is designed to ensure the continued safety and well-being of the country's students and educators during this period of inclement weather. As this closure will affect many parents, Deputy Governor the Honorable Franz Manderson says while government offices are open today, civil servants impacted by the school closures who have the ability to work remotely will be allowed to do so with the approval of their managers.
The forecasts are dynamic, and we remind all civil servants to stay tuned to the latest official weather forecasts and messages on government operations.
In the meantime, government agencies are gearing up.
The teams at Hazard Management Cayman Islands, along with our friends from NRA, Public Works Department, the Fire Service, Regiment, Red Cross and other volunteers, are working closely together to help you get prepared.
Hazard Management Director Danny Coleman says to help vulnerable households in flood-prone areas, sandbags are now available for collection at sand distribution points across the islands, and you can find those locations posted on the HMCI Facebook page.
Stay tuned to our social channels at caymanprepared.ky for updates and accurate information for the government and our partners.
And of course, you can always keep it locked right here to Radio Cayman for the latest updates, including a quick note from the DEH. There will be a special garbage collection in low-lying areas today before the approaching weather system. Heads up, there will be no garbage collection tomorrow if the forecast worsens. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller.
With the BBC News, I'm Roisin Hasty.
Lebanon's health ministry says at least 100 people have been killed in the south of the country in the latest attacks by Israel. It says another 400 have been injured. The Israeli military says it's targeting Hezbollah positions. Hospitals in southern Lebanon have been told to cancel non-urgent surgery to make room for the growing number of casualties. The United Nations report has found that Russians are now subject to systematic human rights violations, with all dissent brutally repressed. The evidence included the case of a journalist who was given a 7-year prison sentence for posting a previous UN report on social media. Sri Lanka's new president, Anura Kumara Dissanayaka, has promised to restore public faith in politics after being sworn in. The left-wing politician was elected on the back of widespread anger about Sri Lanka's economic crisis. A murder trial is beginning in Italy in a case which has prompted protests and debate on violence against women in the country. Filippo Torretta has pleaded guilty to murdering his former girlfriend when she told him she was ending their relationship. Police in Tanzania have stopped an opposition demonstration from taking place in Dar es Salaam. The protest was called following the arrest of 2 leading opposition politicians and allegations of political kidnappings and murders. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Can you tell me, what does a turtle do on his birthday? He celebrates! Celebrate your loved one's special birthday with a birthday shout-out live on For the Record with Mr. Orrett Connor, only on Radio Cayman. WhatsApp your loved one's name to 925-3261. That's 925-3261. Radio Cayman's birthday shout-outs live on For the Record with Mr. Orrett Connor every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Brought to you by Coca-Cola. Available across the Cayman Islands. From Tortuga Wholesalers. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And by Superior Auto. They keep your car in tune. Call 949-9570 or 525-9571. The 8 a.m. weather update. Brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
We were set to battle, and your Aunt Angie was leading the pack when...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with car damage?
Oh, right. Well, long story long. I took down the assassins and wound up inventing a new form of mixed martial arts. I became an international champion until one sore loser karate kicked my car. But I was covered with CG.
Covered for malicious damage and more. CG Britcay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 77 degrees. Relative humidity is 93%. The barometric pressure, 29.85 inches and steady. The wind is east at 3 knots. Overnight low temperature was 76 degrees. Synopses indicate cloudiness and showers associated with a developing broad area of low pressure over the northwest Caribbean is expected to continue to spread across the Cayman area over the next few days. Further deterioration in weather conditions are expected throughout today as the area of low pressure is expected to move further north, supporting heavy, widespread thunderstorms and flooding expected of low-lying areas. An increase in winds is also expected from this afternoon, with strong to near gale force winds and periods of gale force possibly tonight as the system moves near the Cayman area. Higher than normal tides may amplify flooding of low-lying areas. Radar images show brisk, widely scattered showers over the Cayman area, with widespread thunderstorms to the south, drifting towards the west-northwest. The Cayman Islands National Weather Service continues to maintain a flood warning valid through Thursday, September 26. The National Hurricane Center has marked a broad area of low pressure over the northwest Caribbean, with a 90% chance of cyclone formation over the next 7 days and a 70% chance over the next 48 hours. The Cayman Islands National Weather Service will continue to monitor the development of this system. Now, the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today, calling for cloudy to overcast skies with occasional widespread heavy thunderstorms. Flooding is expected in low-lying areas. Temperatures today will be in the mid to upper 80s. Winds will be east to southeast at 15 to 20 knots with higher gusts, and seas will be moderate to rough with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet, becoming rough with wave heights of 5 to 7 feet by this evening. A small craft warning is in effect. Tonight, overcast skies with frequent, widespread heavy thunderstorms. Flooding is expected in low-lying areas for tonight as well. Temperatures falling to the mid to upper 70s tonight. Your winds will be south to southeast at 20 to 25 knots with higher gusts, becoming 25 to 30 knots with higher gusts tonight. Seas will be very rough with wave heights of 6 to 8 feet, especially along the south and east coast. Swells are expected, and small craft warning remains in effect for tonight as well. We're presently at a low tide, and the next high tide will be this afternoon at 3:16, low tide again tonight at 9:59, and a high tide tomorrow morning at 2:33, and a low tide tomorrow morning at 9:34. The sun will set this evening at 6:19 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:15. And the outlook is calling for continued strong to near gale force winds through Thursday morning, with a gradual decrease in cloudiness and showers from tomorrow evening as the low-pressure system moves north into the Yucatan Peninsula. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Let's come together to build a more dementia-friendly Cayman Islands. Dementia affects many in our community, and small acts of kindness can make a big difference. Here's how you can help. Be patient and understanding. Offer support with a warm smile and a gentle approach. Learn the signs. Recognize symptoms like memory loss or confusion and respond with empathy. Make spaces accessible. Ensure businesses and public areas are easy to navigate and safe for those with dementia. Get involved by becoming a dementia friend. Together we can make our islands a more inclusive and supportive place for everyone. For more information, please call the Alzheimer's and Dementia Association at 924-4170 or 936-1655.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look at what's happening on the roads. Roads are wet, so please drive with extra caution. Coming from the east, traffic is moving on moderately as we look to Crew Road heading to Georgetown. Steady traffic coming off of Bobby Thompson Way. Huldah Avenue, traffic is flowing moderately as we look to downtown Georgetown. Moderate flow of traffic on Edward Street, and coming out of Georgetown on Shedden Road, moderate flow of traffic. From the West Bay four-way stop, traffic is flowing moderately, and as we look to Eastern Avenue and Godfrey Nixon Way, traffic is moderate in both directions. Owen Roberts Drive, light traffic. On the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is steady but flowing. And that's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock. We'll give you another look at traffic. Have a good morning and drive safe.
The rich flavors of Italy just arrived at Subway. Say ciao to the Italianos. Our 3 new Subway Series recipes, carefully crafted with an Italian flair. Try the Hot Shot Italiano for an enticing and zesty touch. The tastier than ever Ultimate BMT, generously stuffed with a mix of ham, pepperoni, and salami. Or go all in with a creamy chicken bacon Alfredo. New Subway Series Italianos. Chef-crafted greatness in every bite. Elevate your game only at Subway. Delizioso.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
For the past 10 years, Health City Cayman Islands has been providing a comprehensive range of in-house medical services, from routine care to highly complex surgeries. We've transformed healthcare in the region, saving thousands of lives in the process. Recognized for quality and excellence, Health City brings together expert doctors, the best technology, and the latest techniques to provide world-class healthcare to those who need it. Health City Cayman Islands, a decade of healing.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome to this special edition of For the Record this morning, discussing and keeping you aware of the weather system that is in our area that is developing and the implications that has for the Cayman Islands. And we're already seeing evidence of what will be taking place as well. But here to tell us more about it is Miss Danny Coleman, who's the Director of Hazard Management Cayman Islands, and the Director General of the National Weather Service, Mr. John Tibbetts as well. And of course, Mr. Tibbetts will concentrate and focus more so on the weather itself. John, over to you.
Yeah, so even though we talk about that we're talking about a broad area of low pressure, the National Hurricane Center does try to look within that broad area of low pressure and put an X on the map to say this is a disturbance center. And for the record, that disturbance center is down to the south of us now, and how they've got that forecast to track is the west, northwest, or northwest. So we, in time, that we will see how that works, and we'll see how accurate that forecast is. One of the things I always want to pin on, basically, is that in our own mind, and we have a tendency to try and remember past weather systems and try to package it and go, well, this is what a tropical depression looks like, this is what a tropical storm looks like, this is what a hurricane looks like. And I think we've seen over the years so much variety with the different systems that have come across the Cayman Islands or near to us. We've had systems that, like what happened in June, for example, which is really kind of a spin-off of the a spin-off rain event that came off of what we call the Central American gyre. It's cyclonic low-pressure areas developing over Central America that at times do spin off and cause weather across the area, and some of them do in fact develop into bigger storms and what have you. Okay, and that one, obviously, if you remember back to June, we really got a good flooding from that one as well. This one has slightly different formation focus on it, and those are the two systems right now that we're at least trying to form up to a system, a tropical depression or something greater. Well, we've also seen tropical storms that don't behave like tropical storms, reminding Grace in particular with that. We've also had some weird hurricanes. We've had Beryl this year, which crossed within 40 miles, and yet we still get hurricane force winds. That's kind of weird. And then we had Eta a number of years ago that basically, for the better use of the words, it disappeared in western Honduras and Guatemala area there and what have you. But the Hurricane Center kept it up and got back into the Gulf of Honduras there, and then boom, it blew back up, and then it came across us very fast indeed. It took off at a very rapid rate. So these systems, it's difficult to package them and say, this is what a hurricane looks like, this is what a tropical storm looks like. We do know, obviously, that hurricane and the stronger the winds and the stronger the seas and what have you, all means higher levels of threat to human life and property, obviously. So comparing a tropical depression to, let's say, a hurricane, you don't do that. That don't make no sense. Obviously, the hurricane is going to have a much larger impact. But be careful about comparing tropical depression to tropical depression. I do say with this system is that this system is a developing system. And sometimes a developing system can have a little bit of a nasty kick to it. So do be very, very careful out there, and you got to listen to your local sources. And do be careful of some of the local sources too, because every once in a while there are some individuals that are local Caymanians or local companies that put the information out there that might be contrary to what the government and what hazards management, what the National Weather Service is saying. So be very careful. Listen to Ms. Danny Coleman in Hazards Management in terms of your response into the National Weather Service for the latest information on the storm.
Okay. And Danny spoke earlier about the Hurricane Hunter that will be going into the system at about 1 o'clock as well. When you compare, what may come out locally or from Europe or wherever, how accurate and the data that comes from that Hurricane Hunter once they go into the system, is that the most reliable information that you're likely to get?
Well, obviously, when you're collecting data on a storm and what have you, data have different levels of perceived accuracy. And therefore, when the hurricane experts at the Hurricane Center is looking at data, there's some data that he is going to give more credibility to than others. So, and one of the problems is that look at Hurricane Ivan and the Cayman Islands. We only got one automatic weather station that gave us some credible data. The one that the National Weather Service normally uses, it went down midnight. And so we don't have any data from that system when the storm was at its peak. All right. So in terms of the data, though, when you're sitting looking at, when the hurricane experts looking at the data, the drop zones that come out of the Hurricane Hunter is one of the highest orders of quality of data. That along with our weather radar. Okay, but mind you, in terms of the weather radar, the system needs to get close enough to the radar for us to get good, accurate information on it. Okay. Other than that, we will get calls from the U.S. National Weather Service, and they will ask us to do balloon releases from here. I haven't heard anything, but our system has been having some difficulties at times. So I'll check into that as the day goes along.
I think John's got a great point there, anchoring yourself to a previous experience. So, comparing one storm to another, there's just so many variables. And so you just really need to make sure you're prepared for whatever happens over the next couple of days. It's just, there's just lots of flooding, lots of water out there. So we really want people to be ready. There's so much information on our website, caymanprepared.ky. You'll see a lot of these booklets around, again, how to prepare, how to make sure your house is ready for any kind of flooding, be it sandbags.
Hold them up.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. They're yours, by the way. They're not mine. I borrowed them on the way in here. But I think the official sources is so critical. I mean, looking for information coming out on, for example, airport closures. Right now, we've been working with the airport, and obviously Cayman Airways has put an advisory out, but nothing right now has changed as far as airports go, and we're very happy with that. But again, that's a dynamic situation. Schools, as we know, are closed today, the public schools, and I believe most of the private schools followed suit with that. And of course, the decision will be made later on today as to what happens tomorrow. But given that the forecast, the chances are we'll have to be making plans for children and for perhaps working from home tomorrow or the next day. So that, again, making sure you're abreast all the time of the latest information on school openings, on office openings, on garbage collection, on airport if you're flying out today or tomorrow. Make sure you're keeping abreast to your local airline, whatever you're flying, making sure there's no cancellations. And also traffic. Obviously, if you don't need to be on the road, we strongly encourage you not to be. Again, I came in this morning from Lower Valley at about 5:45, and there's a lot of rain already on the roads. And, fortunately, I have to say most people were driving very carefully this morning. But I drive down that road at least 3 times a day, and a lot of the time it's a terrifying experience down Shamrock and so forth. So please, if you're driving on the road today, please make sure you're doing so with extra care and caution and driving very slowly. There's flood waters. You don't know what's in the waters. A lot of debris, no doubt, the next couple of days, potholes, and also, just being courteous to your fellow drivers and not spraying them with water everywhere.
What do we say about those storm chasers and those informal reporters that go out there and stream things back to their social media groups and stuff like that? What do we say to that?
Well, I have to admit, I always wanted to be one when I was younger. Fortunately, I went down the official route and became hazard management. So, just please don't. I mean, don't be standing very close to the coast over the next few days and taking photographs, and don't be, sightseeing of any spots. We saw a lot of that earlier on this year with people really putting themselves at risk, trying to get a photograph and whatever it looks like. I appreciate it's incredibly beautiful to watch the waves, but they are incredibly dangerous. And again, the more you can stay off the roads, better. If we do have emergency services that need to be out, we need to make sure that they have enough space in the roads to be able to go and respond quickly. But again, if you can stay at home, please do so. And again, just be very courteous.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we always use the terminology, those persons who live in flood-prone areas. And there's no doubt that hazard management Cayman you would know exactly where they are and whether or not you want to name them to identify the area so that people will be aware of that. Because there may be newcomers, to the island who may not be aware that where they're living, is going to be flood prone. And based on what we're hearing, the amount of water that we're going to be encountering is more than usual, more than normal as well. So let's take that commercial break. When we return, a conversation with Ms. Danielle Coleman and Mr. John Tibbetts will continue. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
You can now renew your driver's license or motor vehicle license online, and you don't need an ESID number. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Visit www.dvdl.gov.ky.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
The sale you've been waiting for is here. Brand Source Home Gallery's custom closet and kitchen cabinet sale is now through September 30th. Save 20% on closets, pantries, Murphy beds, wall units, media centers, and that long overdue kitchen cabinet makeover. Our designers will create your dream closet or kitchen. Choose from our in-stock selection or special order and have installed before December. Shop now and save 20% with Brand Source Home Gallery's custom closet and kitchen cabinet sale. Hurry, sale ends September 30th. Visit us at 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, or call 623-5000.
This is For the Record.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record, this special segment concentrating and focusing on weather conditions around and here in the Cayman Islands as well, with Miss Danny Coleman, the Director of Hazard Management, Cayman Islands, and the Director General of the National Weather Service, Mr. John Tibbetts. So, flood mapping and those areas that we know are prone to flooding, rather than just generalization, we know exactly where they are, and we can geographically identify them.
Yes, I see. So what we do at the office, we have a lot of mapping capabilities. We have a mitigation specialist who focuses a lot on mapping. So mapping, historical mapping, what areas have been flooded in the past. We know the elevation. We've also got on our mapping where shelters are, where relief distribution. So we use maps for pretty much everything that we do. Okay. We're massive believers of evidence-based decision making. And what we say a lot, one of our taglines is data is the new oil. So we collect the data. We are quite cutting edge with what kind of data software we have. Admittedly, I don't really know how to use a lot of this stuff. It's way above my my brain capabilities. It's very technical. But that's why we have the experts doing that. So we have the mitigation team, logistics team, who make those maps. We've also been working on an IoT, that's Internet of Things, flood sensor system. We do have one at the Government Administration Building just at the back here, and we can monitor live flooding from our office. Now, unfortunately, we've only got one right now in the ground. It's been the Guinea Pig project, but we hope to get these across all 3 islands over the next couple of years. It's obviously a big project. And again, the brilliance of this is we can tell what kind of flooding we're going to expect before we see it. So they're very much, the wells are built to get those sensors, and that it sort of like floats up. Again, I say it's my very layman's terms of what it does, but it's a really good way to predetermine what kind of flooding we're going to have. So that's going to be.
Does it measure the water table? What the water table is? And
absolutely.
Okay.
So that project will be expanding a lot over the next couple of years. But again, it's just a sort of I'm a massive believer that we needs-based, so we should be focusing on the most vulnerable people. And the most vulnerable people, obviously, in this situation would likely be those in very low elevation, low flooding areas. And we do know those areas, and we tend to prioritise those areas in regards to sandbags and so forth. We like to work with the MP, whoever the MP representative is in the area, to ensure that the community is prepared. And again, like this storm, and DEH are doing the same thing with garbage collection. Those key areas of flooding need to be prioritised for needs. Hence why, whilst we do have these sandbag stations, we really try and encourage the public to be as self-sufficient as possible. You know, there's sand there. If you can get your own sandbags, please do so, because we want to make sure that those who really do need them are getting what they need. I think it's a really good segue into sort of knowing your elevation. Obviously, we have a lot of information on our website to prepare yourself for a storm. And that's www.caymanprepared.ky. We also have all our social media pages, hazard management, Instagram, Facebook, whatever else, Twitter. But knowing your elevation is really important. So whether you're a newcomer or old-timer, you know, at the end of the day, you know, development happens in the Cayman Islands quite quickly. And even if you know your elevation, know what's happened around your house lot in that time, because if there's been a big development next door to you, chances are you are now become a bit of a valley for water to run off. So know what your risk is, know your elevation, and know how you'd prepare in any storm, be it this one or the next.
John?
Well, I'd like to just piggyback a little bit into the flood sensors project. It's something that the National Weather Service and Hazards Management have collaborated on. The idea basically is that the flood sensors measure the level of the flood, okay? But it also measures the amount of rainfall that falls in that area. So in a one-off incident, for example, if you had like 4 inches of rainfall in that particular area, and you've got the measurement to say how bad the flood was and what have you, that's all good and well. Now you just look for in the future now, whenever National Weather Service saying, hey, listen, you're going to get a 4-inch rainfall event in that area, then hazards management will then know what to plan for the flooding. Okay, and it's a nice tool to have, and it will continue to help the disaster management efforts, along with everything else that the Cabinet Office is planning with the National Weather Service, including some automatic weather stations that have been long in coming, but we're hoping to get some of them out, not just in Grand Cayman, but in the sister islands as well.
Okay. Now, with this weather system in place, will the National Weather Service be increasing their weather reports, or will you continue to do it at the various times that you normally do during the course of a day, 24 hours?
Well, there's a little bit of a potential transition phase here right now. For example, right now you're getting the outlooks, and the outlooks only come out a couple of times. But what the Hurricane Center has done at times is a couple of things. First of all, number one, we don't know if the Hurricane Center is going to look at this system today, tomorrow, and go, well, listen, is this a depression or is this a potential tropical cyclone? There's an area in there where they can look at a system and say, hey, this system's not a tropical depression yet, but they can name it as a potential tropical cyclone. And the reasoning for that would allow us to potentially issue any kind of warnings with regards to a system if it does develop. Okay, so we will, and then once the Hurricane Center makes those kind of decisions, then what will happen is that there will be increased bulletins coming out from them. So instead of going according to the tropical weather outlook and you're getting it a couple of times for the day, if it becomes some sort of a system now that the Hurricane Center is monitoring and giving regular inputs on it, then you get 4, possibly 8 periods in which you get data from them. All right, and then the government can potentially make decisions with more quality data that is being fed into the system that we're running here.
Okay, Danny, people are curious about shelters. Can we talk some more about shelters, where they are, when decisions will be made as to when those shelters will be open as well?
Absolutely, AC. So we've had the Red Cross shelter on standby all weekend, and that can be activated very, very quickly. Their teams have been notified and they're ready to go. again, we try and make sure that we respond at the risk at hand. So we will be notifying our shelter managers today, just obviously to make sure they are on island and also they're abreast of the situation. I think that might have happened yesterday through our partners at DCFS, and we'll be checking on that this morning. And if we do have to activate shelters, chances are we'd activate one per district. However, again, this is a very much a case-by-case scenario. We did open all of them at the last storm in Beryl. Some of them had several people, some had none. So we have to be very, very careful as to do it proportionately and, again, not exhaust our shelter management teams because, of course, we may have to call upon them for the rest of the season. We do see it this time of year, in October, November, so this sort of rapid intensification or this dynamic change in storms and, of course, lesser notice. And whilst I don't know about the rapid intensification of this one, we'll find out in the next few days. But more importantly, we have to be abreast of local, regular information. I'm glad John's, sharing those sort of time frames as to when weather predictions come out because, you don't want to miss one of these forecasts. If by chance something changes very quickly, the public need to know about it very quickly. And, of course, we'll use all our avenues to get that out, including our National Emergency Notification System. And I strongly advise the public, if you have not downloaded the NENS, NENS app yet, which is the disaster management app, basically it's urgent messaging on SMS, email, and the app itself. If something dramatic happens, for example, if something happened this week and we had to notify the public immediately, you'd get a very loud alert on your phone. If it's sort of business as normal, I say business as normal, this week is our kind of business as normal. If nothing dramatically changes and the forecast sticks as is, you'll still be getting notifications on that app. They just won't have a loud alert. So it's just really important. If you haven't downloaded it and you know who you are, because I know there's probably about 84,000 people on the island right now, and we've had 10,000 people download it. So for the other 74,000 who haven't downloaded it, please do so. It really could save your life.
Okay. We know that, Danny, you have to be somewhere at 9 o'clock as well. So, Ms. Susan, we're going to take the commercial break now, and this way, when we return, we can do some closing comments from both Danny and John, and they can be on time for the next meeting. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers, a compounding story.
I don't think people realize how pain creeps into your life. It has a way of robbing your strength. I really don't like taking prescription medication orally.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. They understand.
When it comes to compounded medication, it's personal. So whenever there's a problem with some medication or treatments that's not working right, then a physician will call me and say, hey, they're having bad side effects from this medication.
Compounding pain cream changed the game. Made special for me. Significant pain relief in the form of a cream. That is a new experience for me.
It's changed his life.
It worked.
Ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about compounding at West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Call 914-6449.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone, and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
The DVDL Customer Support Unit is now open. Customers can book appointments for written and driving tests through DVDL's hotline at 945-8344. That's 945-8344.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. Don't lie on your resume. Because if you say you've got trapeze experience, someone might shoot you out of a cannon and expect you to do a gymnast routine while flying through the air at 82 miles an hour. And just because you want to land on your feet doesn't mean you will. But if you're smart, you'll have CG medical insurance, so you get the best coverage for the price.
Get the best coverage for the price. CG Brit-K. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're in the last segment of this show this morning talking about the weather system with Ms. Danielle Coleman, who is the Director of the Hazard Management Cayman Islands, and Mr. John Tibbetts. Danny, I almost made you the Director of the National Weather Service. And Mr. John Tibbetts, the Director General of the National Weather Service.
She snuck up on me.
John, I can assure you I don't want your job.
So, Danny, one of our listeners has sent in and said, please let them tell us clearly the name of the Alert app and how to download it as well.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So we have a brilliant system called NENS. It's NENS.gov.ky. You have to opt in and basically decide what form of communication you want. You can have SMS, email, and the app alert, or you can have one or the other, or any of them. You can also opt in for the Sister Islands or just Grand Cayman, or if you're in the Sister Islands, you may want just the Sister Islands and not Grand Cayman. But there's lots of different options, and we do have a really good team, a technical team, here to help you. Appreciate they are a little busy today. But if you have any issues visiting that NENS.gov.ky. Look at our social media pages and our www.caymanprepared.ky. All of the information is up there as to how to download that app. You do have to register first, and I think that's one of the technical issues a lot of people do seem to have. Okay. But talking about technical issues, if you do have a problem, please email NENS@gov.ky and we'll respond to your technical issues, and we're here to help to make sure everyone has that downloaded. And just to give a bit of a brief overview again from our whole national emergency notification system, we have two phases right now. The first phase allows us to interrupt all the radios across the islands at any time if by chance there's a significant issue that we need to report about. So that could be 2 o'clock in the morning. Appreciate not everyone is listening to the radios at 2 o'clock in the morning, and hence why this app, which was kindly sponsored by the Governor's Office, is actually a great way to get that information should you need it at 2 o'clock in the morning. The next phase, of course, is a wider range of cellular broadcasts, which will start later on this year to next year. But please, it's a great opportunity now to download the app, NENS.gov.ky.
NENS.
NENS. And I'm going to leave this great booklet of yours already here so you can keep plugging this.
Sure.
For anyone who does want to have that information, again, these hazard management booklets, Are You Prepared? One's for hurricane season. The other one is all hazard, and it covers flooding. So we do have things like what to do with your property, what to do with your car, what to do with your windows, as part of both of those, really. So please look out for those. We'll do our best to disseminate them across the island. But again, we have lots of hazard management. So yeah, just be prepared. I mean, I think that's it. Making sure you're following official sources the whole way through the next few days. Being aware that it is a very dynamic situation, so it can change very, very quickly. And preparing your house at this stage. If there's anything you can do to ensure your windows are protected, that you have the sandbags you need, and more importantly, that you're also helping each other, your neighbours and other people more vulnerable in your communities to get ready for this. It's very difficult to say what's going to happen over the next few days, but we do know there's a lot of rain coming and a lot of flooding potential, debris in the road and so forth. So just be ready for whatever happens, but please help each other.
And one thing for certain is that the government, through its agencies like Hazard Management Cayman and the National Weather Service, will continue to keep people updated as to what is taking place as well.
You have our word, we're not going anywhere for the next 4 days. We've got our sleeping bags ready in case we need to stay in the office, but again, you're constant flow of information coming from all those sources, and again, we're very much here to help you get ready.
Mr. Tibbetts, I noticed that on some social media platforms or groups, many persons are sharing the information that is coming from the National Weather Service, and that is a good indication of the fact that people are now watching, listening to you, and I think even more important, they are trustful of the information that is being distributed to them from the National Weather Service as well.
And I'd like to give a big shout out also to the Cabinet Office, their comms team, and Ms. Cassandra Morris for the fantastic work they're doing in that regard, helping us tailor messages and getting the image of the Weather Service out there as the trusted source for weather information for the Cayman Islands. Mm-hmm. So big up those guys, and thank you guys very much for all the work you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say that again, it's a massive teamwork effort. There's so much been going on this weekend. All the agencies I mentioned earlier on, Red Cross, Regiment, NRA, PWD, but also all the team hazard management, but also weather, but also, as I say, the ones behind that you don't often see, the communications team. I think the communications have come along such a long way over the last few years, well, this year in particular. And again, we want to make sure that the public is informed, but it's a great team effort. And I think the whole of the government are here to help. And we work with our private sector partners as well. Obviously, we've been liaising with supermarkets this morning. Lots goes on behind the scenes, but yeah, it's a really good team effort.
Okay. I noticed that this small craft warning is in effect as well. And we know that in past times, Caymanians who owned boats knew exactly what to do. They knew if a system was coming from a certain direction, where to take safe harbor, and 9 times out of 10 it was in the North Sound as well. But there are those persons who come to the islands and, fortunately for them, have good paying jobs or may have readily access to credit, and able to buy that dream watercraft that they wanted to have, being in the beautiful Caribbean and everything else. What do we say to those persons who may have a boat but may not have experienced weather conditions before in terms of what they need to do? And if they don't know how to do it, then they need to contact an expert to tell them what to do.
We can totally help with that. Again, going back to this booklet, this one's a hurricane one, but it does cover securing your boats, securing your house, securing your pets. As I said, we've got an all-hazard one and a hurricane one, slightly different colours, but just look out for that. We have it on our website for one, but again, securing your boat's really important, because at the end of the day, small craft warnings, and I think marine warnings later on this week, it's going to be, again, a dynamic situation. So make sure you are checking your boat, making sure your build works, making sure that if you do need to take it out quickly, you can do so safely, because what we really don't want to see is if we have a warning out there and all of a sudden people are trying to drive through the North Sound trying to get the boats out of the water. Be prepared, organise this well in advance, because again, you can't be putting yourselves or emergency responders who have to respond to the call at risk. But again, please look at our website for that information, because securing your boats, it's a very, very good guide as to exactly how to do that on page 8.
Okay, and one of our listeners want to asking if you could repeat the sandbagging locations and the times as well.
Absolutely. Thank you. And again, just a reminder, if you do have sandbags from the last time, please reuse them. And also, if you can go to this at the A.L. Thompson or Cox Lumber or Uncle Bill's or whatever to collect your own, we really, really plead with you to be self-sufficient, because again, there are people who definitely need them as a priority, because they are living in much more flooded areas. So the collection points for sandbags are the West Bay Fire Station, Linford Pearson, same locations before, on the big roundabout there, the Agricultural Pavilion, and the Frank Sound Fire Station, that's in Grand Cayman, Cotton Tree Bay in Cayman Brac, and Watering Place Gardens in Cayman Brac. We haven't yet got a location for Little Cayman, but we'll be working with them today as well. So the sandbags and sand there. Again, please don't use beach sand. We use quarry sand for this. And we will be providing information as to how to dispose of the sand afterwards if by chance you have a sanitation issue. And obviously we don't want sewage sandbags being put back into areas that are inappropriate. So we'll have an environmental health style messaging afterwards. But again, please keep your sandbags for the rest of the season. We've got a good few months ahead of us. And I have really loved seeing the sandbags on people, and also plywood still up, because again, you may as well be ready for the season and not have to add the stress of trying to get ready very quickly, especially for these later season storms.
Yeah. Mr. Tibbetts, any special word that we want to send out to the sister islands? as far as the weather is concerned?
Well, I don't want the sister islands too comfortable. The system is rather broad and covering a lot of area. And you know that when we put out our bulletins and what have you, we are expecting some heavy showers in the sister islands. We're expecting the strong winds and the rough seas in the sister islands. So as I say, we're all in the same boat together. I do agree that the impact is potentially forecast to be a bit more in Grand Cayman, but that doesn't mean the sister islands get off any easier, as it were.
Sorry, John, just to correct you, we're all in the same storms. We're not in the same boat. So some people have much bigger boats than others.
Yes.
We're in the boat called the Cayman Islands. So, yeah, I don't think anybody can take it easy right now. It's something that we need to be very vigilant for the rest of this week. And let this thing play out and then regroup on the back end of it, as it were.
Okay. Hazard management, final closing comments and final words that you may want to get out there.
Just encouraging the public to be ready for this very dynamic situation. Please keep abreast of all the official sources. Please be ready to help each other. If you need to get food stocks in, do so. Again, because the flooding looks like it's going to be the biggest issue at this point, you really don't want to drive on the roads unless you have to. So if you can avoid driving on the roads, if you can work from home, for example, please do so. Obviously monitoring the schools for tomorrow because they may or may not be open. But again, please stay safe, Cayman, and stay dry.
Okay.
And download our app, please.
Yes. Repeat it one more time before you go.
NENS.gov.ky.
NENS.
NENS.gov.ky. And again, if you've got any technical issues, it's NENS@gov.ky. So please download it and call us if you have any issues, but it really could help change your day and your life.
And for the weather service, www.weather.gov.ky. There's a lot of valuable information on there and up-to-date data on the developing weather system.
Okay. Folks, I know that you're both going to be busy in the next few days, you and your staff. And again, we want to thank you for the great work that you do in keeping the people of the Cayman Islands informed, and as a result of them being informed, then they can take measures that will make them, they and their families, much safer, as well. So thank you for the work that you do, and every year or every incident, we see so many vast improvements in our the way we communicate with people, the systems that we have in place, and more that is being developed as well. So thank you all.
I think that's a great point. I mean, we constantly strive to make our response better, our preparedness and response better. So we always have a hot debrief, and then we have a more constructive, comprehensive debrief at all levels of the system. So the executive, which is the top tier, but also all the operational side. So we're constantly striving to be better. And we also encourage the public to feedback. If there are things that you want us to do that we're not doing, we really do welcome that feedback. So please just contact hmci.gov.ky, at gov.ky, and we'll respond to your feedback once things quieten down a little bit. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you as well. So folks, we're going to go to our headline news. When we return, we're going to have the birthday shout outs for you. And if you're celebrating a birthday today, you probably have to do it indoors rather than outdoors as well. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after our headline news.
Covering Little Cayman, Cayman Bragg. Cover me.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With students and many parents at home today, government is urging you to make use of the time to prep your property for potential gnarly weather.
Please make sure you're securing your garbage, but also secure anything on the outside.
Hazard Management Cayman Islands Director Danny Coleman tells Radio Cayman, given this is a, quote, dynamic storm, government has to err on the side of caution.
We know we're going to get some substantial flooding, a lot of rainfall, a lot of wind. So either way, we like to make sure that we're fully prepared and we can always scale back.
Cloudiness and showers associated with the developing broad area of low pressure over the Northwest Caribbean are expected to continue to spread over Cayman for the next few days, with further deterioration in weather conditions. As for rain, here's Director General of the National Weather Service, John Tibbetts.
Today, 2.2 to 3 inches. Tomorrow, 1.4 to 2 inches. And then on Wednesday, 1 to 1.4 inches. Flooding will come in two different separate components because we've got freshwater flooding coming from all the rainfall, but we're also experiencing some elevated tides right now. You might know them as king tides. That will bring in some seawater intrusion into the low-lying areas near the coast in particular.
The National Weather Service will continue to maintain a flood warning through Thursday. Those are your headlines. I'm Carsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
The Health Services Authority would like to thank you, the Cayman community, for voting us the Best of Cayman Islands 2024 in 13 medical categories. As the largest and longest healthcare provider in the Cayman Islands, we have been caring for you for many generations, helping the people of our islands live longer, healthier, and happier lives. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you. For more information, visit hsa.ky or call 949-8600.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. The phone lines are open now as well. They were open when the directors of Hazard Management Cayman and the National Weather Service were here, but we're thankful for those persons who sent in questions via or WhatsApp as well. So, birthday shout-outs, they were brought to you by Coca-Cola. Proud to support your birthday shout-outs. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. You should accept no substitute, but taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. We have belated birthday greetings going out to Mr. Lennox Moxham, who celebrated his birthday yesterday, and birthday greetings are coming from his wife Rosie and his entire family as well. We see that Miss Tonya Miles, celebrating her birthday and wishing her an amazing day from her sister, nieces, and nephews. That's Miss Tonya Miles. We also have see that today Yolita Phillips is celebrating her birthday. Also Junior Kelly celebrating his birthday. Tomorrow, Miss Lorna Bush will be celebrating her birthday, as well as Evadne Banks and Cassius Super C Stewart celebrating a birthday tomorrow, as well as Carolyn Poweray. If you know someone who's celebrating a birthday, it is not too late for you to send those into us, since we delayed the birthday shout-out this morning so that we could provide you with information about the system that is developing right around us here in the Cayman Islands as well. So let's do a quick It's not going to be quick. It's going to be detailed rehash of what is taking place. So we had the Director of Hazard Management, Cayman, as well as the Director General of the National Weather Service, and he provided us with the latest weather reports, spoke about king tides, spoke about flooding that will take place, and not only from rainfall, but as a result of the high tides in some areas, we're likely to get saltwater inundation as well in some areas. Spoke about the similarities to this event and what was experienced on the 10th of June 2024, ETA. The reasons why we should be exercising an abundance of caution, and provided you with information as to the official National Weather Service channels for persons to follow. Sorry. So let's look at the government update, and we'll start with the National Roads Authority. So crews have been mobilized, and they are conducting routine procedures, clearing drains in low-lying areas. We know that this is also an exercise that is done throughout the year as far as clearing the drains are concerned, but they're doing more than that now because the crews are out there. They have been mobilized, and they are now conducting these routine procedures. Emergency pumps have been installed in the key areas where flooding is of great concern, and the National Roads Authority continues to monitor the community's needs and is on standby to assist. We know that sand has been placed at 6 locations across the islands for the community to access in preparedness. And I will, go back. Yes, the sandbag plan update. The collection points are the West Bay Fire Station, where you can obtain sand and sandbags. Linford Pearson Highway, sand and sandbags as well. The Agricultural Pavilion in Lower Valley, where you can get sand and sandbags as well. The Frank Sound Fire Station, sand and sandbags also. In the sister islands, Cotton Tree Bay, Cayman Brac, you can obtain sand only at Cotton Tree Bay. At the Watering Place Guarding Site in Cayman Brac, you can obtain sand and sandbags as well. Shelters are on standby, and an announcement will be made when it is deemed necessary for the openings, for shelters to be opened. Work is being done with agencies such as the National Roads Authority, the Public Works Department, the Fire Department, the 911 Emergency, the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, the Regiment, the Red Cross, and volunteers on assisting all of our communities with preparedness as well. From the Ministry of Education, all government schools on Grand Cayman and Cayman Brac, including the University College of the Cayman Islands, will be closed today, Monday, the 23rd of September. From a civil service standpoint, a conditional advisory has been shared with civil servants by the Deputy Governor, advising staff to prepare and also to remain vigilant. In the event of school closures, which has now occurred, so we know that schools have been closed, Non-essential staff are advised to make necessary preparations to work from home. So if you are a non-essential staff, you should make the necessary preparations to work from home. No doubt you will hear from your managers or from your chief officers or whomever to advise you of what obtains in your particular ministry or department as well. Let's talk some about the emergency services. So the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, Cayman Islands Fire Service, and emergency services, they're all on standby, and they will be conducting regular patrols to assist where necessary. And the Cayman Islands Regiment, Hazard Management, Cayman Islands, the Red Cross, the NRA, and Public Works, they are currently on site at sand locations assisting the public with filling sandbags. And remember also that if you have sandbags from a previous event, that you should continue to use those as well. But if they have been used in areas where sewerage is, then you should really not be reusing those as well for obvious sanitary reasons. News from the Health Services Authority and the Public Health that you should stay aware of potential health risks such as water contamination, and also the Public Health will be issuing further guidance as is necessary. From the Mosquito Research and Control Unit, known by the acronym MRCU, mosquito activity is expected to increase due to additional rainfall, which is in the forecast. And of course, this rainfall will further expand breeding sites as well. So we will see and hear more as far as the Mosquito Research Control Unit is concerned. But you, the public, can do your part to help as well, and to help reduce the mosquito population. They're asking you to ensure that you eliminate standing water on your property. I should put a caveat to that in terms of when you can do so, because you may be in an area that floods and there's really not a whole lot that you're going to be able to do about standing water for a few days. But if you have containers, items like toys, flower pots without proper drainage, tarpaulin, tires, and buckets, they can all collect water and become mosquito breeding grounds as well. So while you may not have much control over the water settling on your property, you can control those implements or that would have a tendency to hold water and to ensure that the water is removed from those. Also, the Health Services Authority and the Public Health Department advises that disease prevention officers have already detected increased mosquito larvae in waterlogged areas, and despite the MRCU's proactive larviciding efforts, they anticipate a rise in mosquito populations in the coming weeks. So, residents, you can expect enhanced mosquito control operations across the Cayman Islands as well as a result of that. So, I have covered for you. We did have hazard management Cayman in the studio, the director, Ms. Danielle Coleman, and the Director General of the National Weather Service, Mr. John Tibbetts. They covered all of their areas of responsibility and keeping you alert. The other additional government updates I have just shared with you: National Roads Authority, the Ministry of Education, the Civil Service, the Emergency Services, the Health Services Authority, as well as Public Health Department. With that, we're going to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Have you heard? The Ministry of Tourism and Ports has launched the Visitors Experience Development Grant Program. This program is for Caymanians looking to provide a new product or service to visitors of the Cayman Islands. Successful applicants may receive up to CI $50,000 in funding to be used for business-related expenditures. To find out more information and to apply, you can visit www.ourcayman.ky/VEDGP. That's ourcayman.ky/VEDGP.
Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube. Download our official Radio Cayman app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome to For the Record. Our focus this morning is on the weather system around the Cayman Islands. We do have an 8:30 a.m. update about the inclement weather and potential flooding coming from the Chief Meteorologist at the National Weather Service, Mr. Tibbetts, and Miss Susan is going. Kara Power, sorry, I confusing him with John Tibbetts. My apologies, Mr. Kerry Powery, who is the Chief Meteorologist at the National Weather Service, and Miss Susan is going to share that with you right now. Susan, over to you.
Good day, everyone. This is Kara Powery, Chief Meteorologist with the Cayman Islands National Weather Service. We continue to monitor this area of disturbed weather identified by the National Hurricane Center over the Western Caribbean. The system has become slightly more organized and now has a high potential for further development within the next 2 days. Rest assured that the government is diligently monitoring the system and its potential impact on the Cayman Islands and is poised to help mitigate the risk. Flooding continues to be a significant concern as expected rainfall amounts have slightly increased. The latest estimates continue to anticipate significant rainfall over the next 3 days, with an average prediction of up to 9 inches for Grand Cayman and 7 inches for the sister islands. Given the uncertainty of the development, there's a chance of even higher rainfall totals. The peak rainfall accumulation is expected Monday night, and throughout this period, frequent rains with occasional periods of heavy showers accompanied by lightning and thunder can be expected. Elevated tides may further exacerbate the situation, leading to persistent flooding. The Cayman Islands National Weather Service also continues to anticipate an increase in winds beginning from Monday night, with strong southerly winds of 25 to 30 knots with higher gusts expected from Tuesday through Thursday morning. A small craft warning is in effect for today, Monday, September 23rd, and a marine advisory will be in effect for Tuesday and Wednesday, with wave heights of approximately 8 to 10 feet along with swells mainly along the south coast. We urge everyone to stay informed by following our updates, which will be provided daily on our Facebook page and WhatsApp channel. Updates can also be found at gov.ky and caymanprepared.ky. Your safety is our top priority, and we are committed to keeping you well informed and prepared.
Okay, we want to thank Ms. Susan and Mr. Kerry Tibbetts for that information as well. So, folks, that was 8:30 weather update as well. And I'm going to do as Ms. Dana Coleman has requested that I do, to talk about the NENS system. So if you want official emergency alerts that you need to have always by your side, you should visit the nens.gov.ky to opt in. That's NENS.gov.ky. You then choose, select opt-in if you want to opt in. You choose app and you provide your email address to sign up. Additionally, you can sign up to receive SMS and email alerts. So it is your choice. Now, some of you may be a little reluctant about providing your email address, but I would venture to say that our cybersecurity people at the Cayman Islands government, they're pretty diligent, and they work continuously to ensure that their users' information, their data is safe as well. So you should feel relatively comfortable providing that email address, for you. And so that NENS, NENS.gov.ky. Very, very important. Now, I'm sure lots of you get alerts, I don't know, from YouTube or whatever. I know some of the chat groups that I see, as soon as there is an accident on the road or there's a robbery or a shooting, everyone wants to know, where did that happen? When someone posts something, where did that happen at? Everyone is curious. You should be curious about what's happening as far as your weather is concerned as well. So the same way that you are attached to those chat groups and stuff like that, download, go on there and register on the HCMI's nens.gov.ky. Go ahead and register there as well, because that is extremely, extremely important to you. I believe we do have a caller, so we're going to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Lord Graham. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, here, Hazep management was on there this morning, but I'm still not satisfied with all the things. Well, the things they're saying is I'm not saying that's not right, but they're not going far enough where I want to take it, because I'm still concerned about the amount of cars and the amount of people that is on this island in case of disaster occurring. I was in Ivan, and I saw what happened with all the cars and all the people and shelters that house people. At the end of the day, we couldn't get them out. School couldn't start. Various things couldn't operate because people were still sheltering from the aftermath of the storm. So I'm still batting. I'm still putting the idea out there to repatriate people from the island in case we know that there's a serious storm coming. So I still not hearing anything. Well, I did hear Danielle say that, we're not looking about repatriating anybody because we're going to need people to clean up. I don't think people are going to be able to work if they're not going to know how to live in or any food to eat.
But should you be hearing it from persons like Danielle, Danny, and John? They're the technocrats. They're not the policy makers.
Yeah. But what I'm saying, they're on there representing hazard management. So I think they're representing because I did hear them say they work very closely with the MPs and whatever. So.
But they can't speak on their behalf.
Yeah, but I guess I'm
they can convey the public's concern to them.
You can say to them, listen, we as hazard management are concerned because we have experienced Ivan and we know what happened then, and I think we need to put something in place, or you need to fund us to be able to try and help certain people leave the island. Or put something in place.
Put policies in place.
Some policy or something in place. Because, see, I was here. I saw what happened. I saw people breaking in to people's homes. I got videos breaking into people's homes, taking stuff. Old Prospect Road. I got videos. Of people going into stores. And it wasn't us. Okay? It wasn't us. I got videos I can show you of people doing stuff. People were hungry. Dr. McFeel, next time he's on there, he can tell you how they had to get escort by police because they were confronted by people who wanted to take the food, the supplies from them, where they were going to Bordentown to distribute food for the needy. So, see, we have to look at that area too. Because whether you like it or not, people going to need food to eat, water to drink, somewhere to stay.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Whether or not that is that needs to be the focus of our attention right now is another story. But I agree 110% with you.
Yeah. I'm not saying that it's for this one. But I'm saying I've never heard none of the authorities that come
addressing it,
address anything like that. I've never heard anything of that. When I did brought it up the other day, the answer for my question was that we're gonna need people for the aftermath, but how much people we're gonna need? What kind of people we're gonna need? For after a disaster like that, we're gonna need people with bulldozers and excavators and the likes is mostly what we need. To give people access to roads and rescuing people, fire departments, and the other kind of things we really need at the moment, because we also know what happened after that. Everybody was desperate to get places fixed back. People were given deposits to encourage people to come to deal with them first, and people were disappearing with their money and not even going to do the people work. So
true.
That was also another disaster. So we need to put some other things in place, to help us just in case or to prevent various things from happening.
Yeah, and I think that the challenge is going to come not from those private entities that have made arrangements for relocation, business continuity, where they have offices in other jurisdictions and they can send their staff there and everything else. Where it's going to come from, is from those casual workers who are here, and probably even their employer, if they needed to find them, if they didn't show up to work, don't know where to go and look for them, simply because they could be anywhere, because it is not something. Once you complete that accommodation sheet, that form, there is no monitoring, of that, and not saying that we should be monitoring where people live, but they should be contactable in the event that they need to be contacted.
You need to know where they live.
Yeah.
And give account for them too. Who knows? They might not be able to even come to you.
Yep.
And I'll say another one. I'm not sure as yet whether there's a designated shelter within the fastest growing area in Cayman, the Bottom area. Is there a shelter that can accommodate in case of major disaster in that area?
Mm-hmm.
I remember we had one at the police station up there, the Civic Center. We know what happened there. That is down in a valley, and the seas came across and destroyed that one. Was housed there. Is there another one that have come online since that? A shelter that you know of?
Well, one coming online.
Well, that's been coming for quite some time, but because of political reasons, that was stopped. Now I think it started back again, but
that was stopped. That was stopped again. The last work I saw being done on that was the parking lot.
Yeah. No, I said it was stopped, but it came back online now. But I'm not sure whether it's fitted
operational. Yeah.
To house in case of a disaster. I'm not sure if it's ready.
Yeah.
But right now, if something seriously was to happen within that area, I'm not sure where people would go.
Yep. Lord Graham, got to go to that commercial break, but phone lines will remain open. Someone has responded to what you have said, and I will share that with you and the rest of our audience when we return from this commercial break. So don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers, a compounding story.
I don't think people realize how pain creeps into your life. It has a way of robbing your strength. I really don't like taking prescription medication orally.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. They understand.
When it comes to compounded medication, it's personal. So whenever there's a problem with some medication or treatments that's not working right, then a physician will call me and say, hey, they're having bad side effects from this medication.
Compounding pain cream changed the game. Made special for me. Significant pain relief in the form of a cream. That is a new experience for me.
It's changed his life.
It worked.
Ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about compounding at West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Call 914-6449.
You can now renew your driver's license or motor vehicle license online, and you don't need an ESID number. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Visit www.dvdl.gov.ky.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio now. Phone lines are open. Earlier we spoke about the weather system developing in the area and what we can expect in the Cayman Islands. That discussion took place with Ms. Danielle Coleman, the Director of Hazard Management, Cayman, and Mr. John Tibbetts, the Director General of the National Weather Service as well. We have heard information from the Department of Education Services about school closings. We have passed out information about the availability of sand and sandbags in certain locations for those persons who are living in flood-prone areas as well. We have heard about what the emergency services are doing, the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, 911, the regiment. All of that information is being provided. What the National Roads Authority has been doing as well. What you can do as well. If you don't need to be on our roads, please stay off of the roads, because there will be lots of flooding. If you are a storm chaser, or you like to take photographs of the waves and everything else, please, again, don't do that. Don't put your safety in jeopardy, because not only are you putting yourself in jeopardy, but those persons who may have to come to rescue you as well. So one of our listeners said, "Good morning, OC. Graham has made a good point. However, how will government monitor that situation since they don't know how many people or who are on island?" I think that's a broad brush to say that they don't know how many people or who are on island. Those people who enter illegally, surreptitiously, yes, maybe. But I think the government has a pretty good good grasp on the number of persons. We see the number of work permits that have been issued. That information seems to be pretty consistent these days as well. And as the government continues to upgrade their data collection and data analysis capabilities, then we will be getting more and more accurate information as well. So just that sentence there that I'm talking about, government, how will government monitor the situation since they don't know how many people or who are on island? Then they go on to say that every resident on a work permit should have an ID so that government can monitor in emergency events such as a hurricane, etc. Well, I'll be curious to know how the ID would allow the government to monitor the situation on for a person who is on a work permit, because every person who's on a work permit should have, or at some point in time has, a valid passport. They may, and when I say should have, or at some point in time may have, because they may be here on a work permit, and during the currency of that work permit, their passport may have expired, and they may have sent it off, to whatever embassy or consulate to have it renewed. But every legal work permit holder in the Cayman Islands, the government already has that information, because you have a passport. What will make the national ID, the ID, any different than the passport in terms of government's ability to monitor the situation? Maybe there is. Maybe there is. But, and also bear in mind that when the ID system is put into effect, it will be a voluntary system, not a mandatory system. We did have at one point in time, whenever you were issued with a work permit, you were issued with a ID card as well. That was scrapped years and years ago. And the new system that is coming into place for now, we know that it will be voluntary. If you're a work permit holder, you can apply for an ID that will speak to the fact that you are a work permit holder, as opposed to being a permanent resident or a person who possesses Caymanian status, as well. But again, the person's point is well taken, that what we have in place at this point in time is really a rudimentary system that is being upgraded, and we see that taking place where you can do more and more things online now, and you have a specific or a unique identifier that allows you to identify as well. So the person goes on to say that it should be mandatory for work permit holders, and they should have it on them at all times. Point well taken again, and I'll just add this little pun to it, that some work permit holders change work permits so often, and that would bring us into the whole discussion about job hopping and what job hopping means and stuff, and I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole this morning, but that some of them change so often that it would be very difficult to keep up with them in terms of an ID. But no, the point is well taken, that it is important to know, we should know who and who is not on these islands, and in particular, if you're not a Caymanian, if you're not a permanent resident, that we should know more about you as well. There are some persons who are a little bit reluctant and are reticent about that taking place, because whether or not persons are being, use the expression, targeted, or whether or not they're being segregated based on the fact that they are here on a work permit. Then at the same time, there may be those persons who are on work permits to say, something, that would be good for me. That would be good for me to have that I can show whenever it is necessary to have that as well. They may find that the financial institutions that these days won't accept a voter registration card as a form of identification, that they may treat the work permit holder with an identification much more different and much more favorable than they would a Caymanian with a voter ID or a voter registration card. Just saying. We know how that goes as well. Ms. Susan, why don't we take that last commercial break, and when we return, this person, we can, okay. This other person says, no, I'll read that when we return, and then that'll be the source of conversation for the next 15 minutes. Folks, taking a commercial break. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
The sale you've been waiting for is here. Brand Source Home Gallery's custom closet and kitchen cabinet sale is now through September 30th. Save 20% on closets, pantries, Murphy beds, wall units, media centers, and that long overdue kitchen cabinet makeover. Our designers will create your dream closet or kitchen. Choose from our in-stock selection or special order and have installed before December. Shop now and save 20% with Brand Source Home Gallery's custom closet and kitchen cabinet sale. Hurry, sale ends September 30th. Visit us at 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, or call 623-5000.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. One more comment on Lord Graham's discussion. It says, I want to agree with Graham's statement, but we also need to take into account if we have to repatriate people out of here. For example, when we had Hurricane Ivan, when people were sent off but not monitored properly, being returning. People left voluntarily. I don't think that we sent anyone off. They all left voluntarily, and when they were returning, it was a staggered return, to the extent that only those persons who were legally resident in the Cayman Islands could return at first. So you had to prove that you were previously entitled to remain in the Cayman Islands, to return after Hurricane Ivan, because we weren't accepting visitors in at that point in time because there was so much work needed to be done as well. We do have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you? Getting lots of rain up there as well?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I said, OC, do you know a padlock is made for an honest person, right? Because the thief come prepared. Now, yeah. So, every person that comes here that has a permit, automatically, they should have an ID stating, I am John Brown. I work for Island Man Construction. Bingo. So, if you're working for Island Man Construction, what you doing working for Orrett? Call a garden system or his construction.
Mm-hmm.
You see? So, for some ungodly reason, right? Listen to me. We in the Cayman Islands, from our politicians to the children going to kindergarten that do know nothing, we adore people that break the laws, that break our laws. We adore them. Look at you say, I met you, but I don't know. But you remember all them cars that were up on the thing there? Yeah, I'm talking about flag now, but your people got part of the car about illegal, and you know what about it? Zero. Come to the Cayman Islands, do as you please. The people are lax and stupid. Come out on that. Thank you, OC.
Before you go, caller? Oh, that caller's gone. Yeah, we hear a lot of talk about the ID, but does the possession of a work permit identification, really prevent someone from working illegally or going to work elsewhere if the person employing them does not ask for some form of identification? And also, folks, the mere fact that I go out there and I choose a person of non-Caymanian status to work for me, that means that I already know that they either are here illegally or on somebody else's work permit. And why? Simply because I'm not the person who has the work permit for them. So all of this hullabaloo about an ID card, a work permit ID card, unless persons are authorized to ask to see that ID card, or if you are a law-abiding citizen with a conscience who's not going to employ someone that you don't have a work permit for, then really, really for employment purposes, what does it serve? There has to be honesty on both sides, the work permit holder's side as well as the person who's proposing or purporting to employ that person, knowing quite well that they do not have a work permit for him. There was a point in time when I was a strong proponent of having a identification card for work permit holders. And to a certain extent, I am still a proponent for it. But it has to be something that is viable, something that is workable, and it should also be something that does not stigmatize a fellow human being to the extent that we try to appear to be greater and more righteous than they are. It shouldn't be used for that purpose, to stigmatize persons as well. I believe we do have another caller, Miss Susan. Let's put that caller through. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
I'm great. Thank you.
Dr. Steve, he could have a show or what?
No. If you've noticed that quite recently I have been having guests on the show for whatever reason. But Dr. Steve McFeel is available, whenever, time permits, and he will be on. The silly season is coming up soon, with the politics and stuff like that. So he'll be here.
Okay. Yeah, just a quick comment about the thing with work permits and the employer and the employee and all this. My opinion, and I have reasons for saying this, it goes to people much higher up than the employer that's involved in what I assume, and I wouldn't say no more, but the point that I want to make is this. We need a thorough investigation from the outside to see, my opinion, again, the amount of corruption that's going on this island because of money, who can get this and who can get it because you pay for it. Come on, it's out of control. So I'm not going to say no more about that because we're beating a dead horse. Some of the people that you think that are not being paid off in these situations, they're receiving money on the other end. So leave it at that. But people of my caliber know that what's going on this island, it is not right. It's legal and not right. And it had a good investigation. A lot of people would be brought to the forefront who we do not assume that are doing anything wrong. Thank you, Mr. Connor, listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller, as well. Folks, you would have heard this on Radio Cayman's news and updates as well, but we will repeat this one more time, a public service announcement from the Department of Environmental Health, known as by the acronym DEH. They have announced that a special collection in low-lying areas will take place today, Monday the 23rd of September 2024, before the approaching weather system is expected. Residents are advised that there will be no garbage collection on Tuesday, September the 24th. So we don't want to hear people calling in on Wednesday, God's willing, if we have a show to say they didn't collect any garbage on Tuesday and the garbage is piling up. No garbage will be collected tomorrow, Tuesday, the 24th. What the DEH is doing, they will be collecting garbage from low-lying areas today, Monday, September the 23rd, 2024. They also go on to say that, again, there will be no garbage collection Tuesday, the 24th of September, if the forecast worsens. And we know, based on what Mr. Tibbetts and what his meteorologists have been saying, that the situation will worsen as the days go as far as the rain is concerned. DEH, they are also asking the public to be patient while their teams continue to work hard and remain committed to complete all regular routes for collection. So they're going to try to complete all of their regular routes of collection for collection today, especially in those low-lying areas. And folks, remember, they're out there doing that, and they're subject to the weather conditions as well, the intermittent raining that is taking place. So if you require additional information, you should not hesitate to get in touch with the DEH. Their number is 949-6696. But again, those of us, in the public who have demands, we have to be reasonable about our demands. We have to be conscious of the fact that there's so many things that are going on at this point in time. If there is something that you can do yourself, do not rely on someone else. Do not call on someone else to do it if you can do it yourselves. Because there are certain government agencies out there that really should be directing their attention to those persons who are more vulnerable to the weather conditions that we will be facing, as opposed to those of you who are much better positioned financially, structurally, as far as where you're living, as well as geographically, the location that you are living at as well. Some may be fortunate to have all of those things going in their favor. So leave the emergency people. Let them have the ability to deal with those who don't have the luxuries that you have. Let's stop placing those demands on them when we can do it ourselves, so that they can help those who are really in need as well. And again, I'm going to repeat one more time for you the fact that if you want official emergency alerts, you can sign on to the NENS, N-E-N-S system at Hazard Management. So, number one, you visit nens.gov.ky to opt in. You select opt in. You choose app, choose that option, and provide your email address to sign up. And then, as a result of that, you can sign up to receive SMS and email alerts. Number two, you download Ad Hoc app. There's a BlackBerry Ad Hoc app, mobile app from your app store as well. You open your email to verify your account. They're going to ask you for a code, HCMI, Once your email has been verified, you enter the organizational code. The organizational code is HMCI. I think I might have said HCMI. I keep doing that. Must be dyslexic. So the organizational code is HMCI. Then you press send. The screen will indicate that you are now set to receive notifications. If you have any trouble doing that, or if I confused you by what I was telling you there, please email nes@gov.ky to get additional information. Folks, again, this segment or this particular show this morning geared towards keeping you alert of the weather system in the Cayman Islands. And we got updates from the Director of Hazard Management, Cayman, Ms. Danielle Coleman, and from the Director General of the National Weather Service, Mr. John Tibbetts. I want to thank all of you who listened, who provided your opinions and your feedback as well. I want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So, folks, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Ebanks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands. Not sure what Wednesday will bring, what sort of show we will have at that point in time. Normally, we would have members of the opposition here, but we will see what the weather situation brings us on Wednesday. Folks, have a great day. Please stay safe. Stay off the roads unless you actually have to be there. Employers, if you can, those employees who have children who would normally be at school, please see with them, be compassionate, and if at all possible, allow them to work from home, because I am sure that this really wasn't in their plans. This wasn't in their schedule, that there would be no school today. We don't know what will happen tomorrow or the next day as well. So we're asking everyone to please be considerate. Don't just focus on the CI dollar sign. There's got to be more to life than just dollars and cents as well. Have a great day, folks. Please stay safe. God bless.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury.
And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient.
Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice.
Yesterday,
today,
always and forever.
Radio Cayman in the